Greetings, everyone. So nice to be with you today. We're going to be exploring some questions and answers today, and we'll get started with that right now. Our first question is, can you talk about the cosmic egg? I was meditating with a group recently and had a powerful visionary experience that concluded with a huge luminous egg inside my body. Thank you for any insights on the symbolic meaning and your interpretations. So the cosmic egg is not a part of the Rosicrucian teachings. However, there's a lot of information on this in a number of traditions. In ancient Egypt, there were 8 primordial deities known as the Ogdoad, which is Greek for eightfold, who existed in the water chaos before creation. And within this unchanging nothingness, there was the potential for creation. And the Egyptians believed that from these 8 deities came a cosmic egg that contained the deity responsible for creating the rest of the world, including the primeval mound, the first land to arise out of the waters before creation. Hildegard of Bingen also spoke about the cosmic egg, and this image that we see came from a vision that she had. Hildegard of Bingen was a German mystic and writer and composer. She was a philosopher, a visionary. She was a medical writer and practitioner. And she was born in Germany in 1179, and she had these visions. And it's not clear whether she drew this image or if she described this image, if she described her vision and someone else drew this, but it's called the cosmic egg. And she wrote a text about this that said that this image shows the omnipotent divinity, incomprehensible in its majesty and inestimable in its mysteries. She believed that this image was a model of the universe. And even before, even in very, very ancient times, eggs were a symbol of creation and of rebirth. And sometimes the sealed tomb of Jesus Christ, the tomb that that Jesus was entombed in, is sometimes referred to as the uncracked egg. So the cosmic egg has a lot of symbolism, and it's not a part of the Rosicrucian tradition. Our next question, can you explain the concept of the egregore of our order? The Rosicrucian egregore exists in the psychic dimension. It is a psychic structure formed by the thoughts of all Rosicrucians, past and present. And it creates kind of a psychic cloud. You can harmonize yourself with it. For example, in the Council of Solace, we can feel it acting in our body or to help others. Whenever you think of a Rosicrucian ritual or teachings, you are connected with this cloud or this egregore. You can feel the presence of this close to you. When we need help, we can feel the presence of the Rosicrucian egregore. It's alive, and we nourish it with our good thoughts. And the same way for Rosicrucian members who have come in the past. Every group creates its frequency or vibration, and the Rosicrucian egregore is the vibration of every Rosicrucian's thoughts and actions. Our next question is, can you kindly go over the guidance or directions for the daily meditation? What is the benefit in repeating the vowel sounds each day? Is it important to do this meditation each day? Why is this the daily meditation for Rosicrucian studies as opposed to another meditation? The Rosicrucian Order recommends that every member engages in a daily meditation. So whatever one is best for you, perform that meditation. This allows us to turn over even more power and influence to the divinity within us. And also, thanks to this power that we may not perceive with our mind and our limited senses, it helps us to be more effective in our daily activities. It therefore helps to contribute to building a more just and kind world, or in building a better world. So the daily meditation that's recommended in the very first cycle of monographs helps us to build the psychic centers. And these are centers of energy and information, and we fortify them with our thoughts. So when we give attention to the 7 major psychic centers, it develops those. And the psychic centers are not associated with a day of the week. It's just there are 7 major psychic centers and 7 days of the week. So we recommend this daily meditation so that we have a discipline of attuning with these psychic centers on a regular basis. But again, the vowel sound that is recommended for Monday, it's just that that's the first vowel sound of the vowel sound associated with the first psychic center. And then on Tuesday, it's the second psychic center. So the purpose of intoning these vowel sounds is to develop the psychic centers. And it's helpful to perform this meditation as often as we're able, but to do it in a relaxed way. So if you're too busy to do it some days, then it's okay to even just pause and think of that psychic center and the vowel sound associated with it. So it is really important that you are relaxed while doing the meditations. We're going to practice this meditation now. So if you would please sit in whatever way is most comfortable for you and take 3 deep breaths, becoming more relaxed with each exhalation. Now repeat the following invocation. May the sublime essence of the cosmic infuse my being and cleanse me. Of all impurities of mind and body. So that I may enter the celestial sanctum and attune in all purity and perfect dignity. So mote it be. Now, see your awareness ascending above the place where you are seated, above the building you're in, above your city, above your state or province, above your country, going higher and higher. Now you gaze back and you see Earth as a spinning sphere. Continue your ascent until you see in the distance the celestial sanctum as you have chosen to visualize it. This is the highest plane of spirituality with which we can attune. And because that's rather abstract, we visualize that as some place that we've actually experienced or a place in our imagination that fills our heart with joy. So this could be an inspiring place out in nature, or in a Rosicrucian temple, or in another building that inspires you. So see yourself entering the celestial sanctum as you have chosen to visualize it. Look around and experience its beauty. Hear the inspiring sounds. Smell the fragrances. Feel the beautiful, tranquil vibrations of this plane of existence. Now we're going to intone the vowel sound for this day, for Wednesday, which is A, spelled E-H, and it's pronounced A, that is associated with the heart center. Excuse me. So we'll intone A 7 times now. Ready? Inhale. Now, mentally intone A 7 times while imagining that you were spiraling upwards towards the infinite, as if you were being propelled by the vibrations of this vowel sound itself, as it is propagated throughout space. If you cannot easily visualize this, just make sure you feel the positive vibrations generated. Then feel or see yourself in an ocean of light, an ocean that is the cosmic consciousness that pervades the entire universe. Now surrender yourself to your inner calm and remain in this state of receptivity for a few minutes, with no other desire than to commune with cosmic consciousness. May peace reign throughout Earth and within every being. May the cosmic sanctify my contact with the celestial sanctum. So mote it be. And now bring your awareness back from the celestial sanctum, back towards Earth, towards your country, your city, the building you're in, and bring your awareness back to here and now. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Okay, here is our next question. I'm about to have my first initiation ever. That just makes me feel thrilled for you. I will be performing it in my home sanctum. My question is, how will I know that I have a successful initiation if I follow every step of the process? Will my second initiation, the second atrium degree, also be at my home sanctum or at a table? My dear one, your initiation will definitely be successful. All 3 atrium degree initiations are performed at home. Then once we enter the temple degrees from the 1st to the 12th degree, there are 11 initiations that can be performed in a temple as well as at home. So from the 1st to the 12th, from the 2nd to the 12th degree, there is a home initiation. And if you are able to visit a lodge, you can also take the 2nd to the 12th degree initiation in a lodge temple. The one exception is the 1st temple degree initiation is only conferred in a lodge temple. It's meant to be conferred in person. So then the 2nd degree, we have a home sanctum initiation, and we also, if we're able to, can have an initiation in a lodge temple. The initiations begin right after the Rosicrucian New Year in March. So the 1st temple degree initiation is always conferred in April. The 2nd is conferred in May. The 3rd is conferred in June, and so on. And this culminates with the 12th temple degree initiation that is conferred in March. The initiations are taken in order. So you must have the 1st temple degree initiation in order to receive the 2nd. And you can take these initiations once you've had the previous ones and once you've reached the first lesson of that degree. Okay, next question. My question would be, how exactly is it that we help humankind? What are some examples of ways we will be contributing to that? So the mission of the Rosicrucian Order is to contribute to the evolution of consciousness and to perpetuate the Rosicrucian teachings. So we can help humankind by becoming more conscious human beings, by raising our awareness and our vibrations. As we evolve, not only do we bring ourselves into better harmony with the world, we bring those around us into better harmony with the world, and this radiates outward. The next question, is the master within a separate entity from the divinity that surrounds us? If it is, would it have a name that we can invoke in times of need? How is the soul personality different from the master within? What does it mean when the master within declares itself? Is this referring to some initiation process that the student would experience? Our master within is that aspect of the divine that manifests as our conscience, our inner self. You know, there's something within us that knows right from wrong, that really knows everything that we need to know. And it's an aspect of universal consciousness. Our soul personality is how we as individuals radiate the light of universal consciousness. H. Spencer Lewis used the example that there is the soul, and it is, if you have a string of holiday lights, the soul energy is the energy part, the electrified part, and how the soul expresses through each of us is the soul personality, and that's the different colors of the lights on the strand. So each of us expresses that divine energy in a different way. The ancient Egyptians saw this as, they saw it very similarly, that if you shine a light into a prism, it comes out with different colors. And each color, this is how you manifest and how I manifest. So it's the way that we individually manifest, and that's our soul personality. Our next question. A post on the Proneos page asserted that the Rosicrucian manual asserted the following: as far as being part of any other occult groups, the Amorc manual forbids this. So my question is, does or has the order ever forbade members from belonging to other mystical or occult organizations? This person writes, in my experience of Amorc, the order doesn't forbid members to join a religion or maintain membership in other mystical organizations. I checked my Amorc manual, but couldn't find the quote that this frauder had referred to. I realize there are many editions of the manual and that it may have been removed from later editions. So the question is, does the Rosicrucian Order forbid members from being members of other groups? No, the Rosicrucian Order does not forbid us to do anything, really. And it is important that, especially when we're a new member, that we're not trying out 20 different traditions at the same time, or even a couple of different traditions at the same time, if we don't have the time to give our Rosicrucian teachings the attention that benefits us the most. So the order does not forbid us to do anything and does not forbid us from being a member of another organization. And when we are, especially when we're a new member, it benefits us to give our sanctum periods and visiting an affiliated body, to give it our attention that we can fully benefit from what the Rosicrucian Order has to offer, and so that we can decide if it's for us. And if we're involved in a bunch of different groups, then that may make that more challenging. But again, the Rosicrucian teachings don't forbid us from doing anything. The next question. There are many records mentioned in The Mystical Life of Jesus, a book by H. Spencer Lewis, that are referred to over and over by H. Spencer Lewis. He says many have seen them and they are still there, meaning the records. They claim Jesus didn't die, he escaped during a storm, and even wrote a letter to his mother. Have you seen these records? No, I have not seen these records, and they are in the archives in France. Next question. In the past, when I was in my teen years, I remember coming across the monographs which have slightly changed. I was curious on two changes. One was the use of mirrors to see past lives, to develop clairvoyance, to look into the future, etc. Why was this practice of using mirrors removed? I've not come across any practices involving the use of mirrors for several years. The other was performing a ritual with the guardian of the threshold. From what I can recall, it was within the first few monographs. So Rosicrucians using the mirror is still extremely important for our mystical work. It's a matter of looking ourselves in the eyes, and this puts us in touch with that master within that we were just talking about. And we also can't hide things from ourselves when we look in the mirror. And we do not use the mirror for the techniques of experiencing past lives, clairvoyance, etc. anymore. There are other techniques that are used, and these are described in the 9th Temple Degree monographs. The ritual with the guardian of the threshold takes place in Rosicrucian temples. And there's one monograph. It's the consecration of our sanctums that refers to our soul as the guardian of our home sanctum. But typically the term, the guardian of the threshold, is associated with a particular ritual that's conferred in lodge temples. Next question. Is it absolutely imperative that the sanctum faces the east? No, it is not imperative, and if you can, it is the most beneficial. The next question. On the art of self-healing, it mentioned that many diseases are provoking the imbalance or lack of equilibrium on our physical, spiritual, mental, and or emotional levels. Could you please provide some samples of meditation to reestablish this balance of our equilibrium stage of our earthly plane? So this is covered in detail several places, but in the monographs, and also in 2019, the Rosicrucian Digest #2 focused on radiant health, and it includes an article called 5 Simple Rosicrucian Exercises. And this includes what's called the rebalancing exercise, where we balance our positive and our negative energy. And this does not mean bad and good. It's just describing the two polarities. And we can do this now. The rebalancing exercise, again, is described in Rosicrucian Digest #2 of 2019. And we'll begin with the focusing on the negative energy. This can be done while you're seated, while you're lying down, or while you're standing. And for this, if you're able, I encourage you to stand, and you would have your feet together, and you would have your hands above your head with the palms touching just straight up above like this. So your feet and ankles touch each other, and your hands are above the head with the palms touching each other. It's best if you can do this either outside or by an open window, but let's do it now, however you're able. You will stand in this position for a few minutes. It's suggested for 5 minutes, but we won't do that. We won't do it for that long today. And you're going to take a series of deep negative breaths. And this means that you exhale completely, and while your lungs are empty, you hold your breath for as long as is comfortable. Then you inhale, and you don't hold your breath while the lungs are full. You just inhale, then you gently exhale again and hold your breath on the exhalation. So we're going to do that in a minute. And then you'll balance that negative energy with positive energy. And the second part of the exercise involves standing, not with your ankles touching, but with your feet, shoulders width apart, and your arms out like this. So your arms are outstretched, and you're going to take deep positive breaths. And in this case, you breathe in, you hold your breath while the lungs are full, and you don't hold your breath on the exhalations. So we'll do that for a few minutes now. So again, we'll start with the negative. So feet together, arms above our head with our palms touching above our head, and just take negative breaths. We'll do this for a minute or so. So exhale completely, hold your breath while the lungs are empty, and don't hold your breath when the lungs are full. Now we're going to balance that energy with positive energy. So feet, shoulders width apart, arms extended. Take deep positive breaths. So breathe in, hold your breath while the lungs are full. When you exhale, don't hold your breath. Just breathe right back in again. When you're ready, drop your arms. If you like, be seated. So that Rosicrucian Digest that I mentioned, it has 5 simple exercises. The other 3 are to go outside and form a star with your body. So you lie, it's best to do this lying in the grass, and you're in the shape of a star. So feet apart, arms apart, and you do deep neutral breaths for 5 to 10 minutes. And this exercise puts us directly in contact with the earthly magnetism while reinforcing the potential of our negative and positive energy. So it helps give that exercise we just did a boost. Then the 4th exercise is float on your back in water. It will help you benefit from earthly magnetism and electromagnetic properties in the atmosphere. So anytime you're able to float in water, that's wonderful. Also floating like in the shape of a star. And the 5th exercise is to walk barefoot in the morning dew for 5 to 10 minutes, taking deep neutral breaths. So dew is the condensation that brings together Earth's negative electromagnetism and the atmosphere's positive electromagnetism. So these are great exercises for reestablishing balance. Excuse me. Our next question. What do you recommend for the solar and moon eclipses we are currently having? Are there any teachings or some information for healing during these cosmic events? There are no particular Rosicrucian exercises for these events, but we do have a special series of monographs called the Astral Harmonization. And with these, we focus on heavenly body 1 day per week. And these are associated with a particular day of the week. And so to attune with the sun, we intone the vowel sound Ra. And the best day to get the benefit of this is on Sunday. So Sunday, and the attribute, the characteristic that's associated with this is generosity. So if you want to develop your generosity, you can attune with the sun on Sunday. Again, this is not exactly, these aren't exercises for solar or moon eclipses, just mentioning the exercises we do have related to the sun and the moon. And then for the moon, we attune with the moon on Monday, and this helps to develop our intuition. And the vowel sound for this is Om. So the sun is Ra and the moon is Om. Okay, this person has another question. Recently, someone told me that their child has multiple sclerosis and then describes this ongoing treatment that they have. Is there any type of healing we could assist with for the parents and their child? The most powerful is to send their name to the Council of Solace. This is the healing meditation that's done every day in the Grand Temple. And anyone can attune with this at noon local time. And so you can just send an email to council, COUNSIL, council@rosicrucian.org, and just state the name of the person and what the issue is. You can even just state the name of the person and they need metaphysical aid. Are there any meditations or tools to assist someone who's going through sleep paralysis? And then they describe a little bit more. So again, include this person in the Council of Solace. Also, before going to bed, this person can ask their psychic consciousness to be of assistance to others. And we can all do that. Right before we fall asleep, when we're in that borderline state, we can ask our subconscious to help us to be of most service to others while we're sleeping. Okay, so the next question. For Rosicrucians, what does it mean when an initiate or student is wearing a purple color robe and gold color sash? In a spiritual reading that was done for me, I was wearing this robe, and then they describe it a little bit more. And for more information on this, you can go to the celestial sanctum like we did earlier and just ask for more information to be revealed to you. The Rosicrucian teachings don't mention anything specifically about the meaning of a purple color robe and a gold collar or sash. But for any questions like this, we can attune with the celestial sanctum like we did earlier, and then you just get into that relaxed state and you can ask that question. You can ask any question. Our next question, does the papyrus tree represent, or is it another manifestation of the spinal column? And then the papyrus fronds and seeds on top, are they the brain with the pineal and pituitary, etc.? So the Rosicrucian teachings don't address this directly. And, we have your museum, the Rosicrucian Egyptian Museum in San Jose. And for the ancient Egyptians, the papyrus plant is a symbol of Lower Egypt. There were two parts of Egypt, and it's associated with the color green and the productive quality of food. The stem is also used to represent growth, vigor, youth, and all things that are new, fresh, and growing. Our next question, what are the positive aspects of meditating using the chakra sounds and not focusing on the lower chakras, lower centers? So in the Rosicrucian teachings, we have psychic centers. They're slightly different from the chakras. And the psychic centers serve as a bridge between our soul consciousness and our objective consciousness. So they enable us to be more receptive to the desires and needs of our inner self. And there are 12 psychic centers altogether. They're always in an area where there are a lot of nerves, and they're associated with a gland, an organ, or in one case, a plexus. That case is the solar plexus, which greatly influences the organs in the abdomen. So we create resonance with these centers of energy and information. The top 7 have the greatest influence on our psychic development, which leads to cosmic attunement. So we start with the solar plexus and we move up. And these are those 7 centers that we meditate on in the daily meditation, that we focus on developing. So we start with the solar plexus and we go up to the pineal gland. There are 5 more psychic centers, and they don't directly contribute to attuning with the cosmic. So that's why we focus on the top 7, because they help us to achieve cosmic attunement. My questions are about the Rosicrucian way of healing. Regarding Rosicrucian healing, I know I will learn more, as I know nothing about it right now. So again, Rosicrucian healing methods for ourselves and to help others are discussed in depth in the 6th Temple Degree monographs. And we have this special issue of the Rosicrucian Digest on Radiant Health, Digest number 2 from 2019. And you can find that, you just go to rosicrucian.org, and then at the top there is a tab, and it says texts. And under that are all the Rosicrucian books, all the books published by the Rosicrucian Order. They are all available for free. All of the Rosicrucian Digests from the past now 101 years. Last year was the 100th anniversary. So all of these are available for free. Go to rosicrucian.org, and then at the top choose text, and then under that choose Rosicrucian Digest. Okay, next question. This relates to food combinations. In a recent forum discussion at my chapter, a frauder mentioned that the eating of beans and meat together is unhealthy because the combination produces some toxic substances. The frauder claimed he got this information from an old version of the monographs. I've also come across advice not to take milk with coffee in the book published by Amark entitled What to Eat and When by Stanley K. Clark. Are these viewpoints part of the official teachings of the order? It would appear the advice against combining beans and meat is not in the current series of monographs. Moreover, several persons regularly take this food combination, including coffee and milk, without any apparent ill effects. So I don't recall hearing anything about the combination of meat and beans being not good for our health. And in that book, What to Eat and When, Stanley Clark mentions not to have milk with coffee. And I believe the old monographs mentioned that as well. And they don't mention it now. I did a quick search, and Healthline online comments on this. It says if we have dairy, so cream or milk, with either coffee or tea, this effect is thought to occur, meaning that it might not be healthy for us, because the milk protein casein binds with antioxidants, reducing their ability to fight harmful free radicals. The article continues to say, however, the results have been conflicting. So with everything, experiment for yourself. If you don't have any issues with any combination of foods, then just go with what feels right for you. Thank you, everyone. It's wonderful to be with you. Peace profound. Bye-bye.